How realistic is another ceasefire?
Well, at this point, it's still very tentative. We know that the U.S. CIA Director, William Burns, is in the region, well, actually in Poland, but meeting with regional officials. So there is a lot of desire for this to happen, but the big question is how and when. Israel is pressing ahead with its military campaign against Hamas in the Gaza Strip, and Mr. Herzog's position is largely ceremonial. So it is an important signal to suggest that pressure is mounting on Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's government to do something, but at this point, we're not seeing any sign that a ceasefire or a pause is imminent.
So we've got the UN Security Council debating this issue right now. What's the latest there?
Well, we know the UN Security Council has now postponed a vote on a new resolution that would seek a suspension in the hostilities until tomorrow. So that's been 2 days of wrangling over this resolution. And what that tells us is essentially there's a deadlock with the United States, which by voting no for a couple of resolutions in the past few weeks has basically has vetoed them because it has that power as a permanent member of the Security Council. So what we understand is that there are a lot of negotiations right now. Of course, that resolution would just call for a suspension of hostilities. It wouldn't obligate Israel to do anything.
So, Nick, we know that the violence linked to the war has spilled over into the Red Sea. What do we know about those efforts to push back against Houthi attacks?
Well, what we're hearing, obviously, is that the U.S. has set up this, what's called Operation Prosperity Guardian to protect commercial shipping in the Red Sea. So that would be with a coalition of partners, basically using military vessels to protect commercial ships traveling through the Red Sea. However, there are a lot of questions about whether that's really going to be doing anything. That's defensive in nature. And what a lot of people are calling for now are strikes on actual Houthi targets in Yemen. The risk there, of course, is that it would escalate the war significantly. But we do know at this stage that U.S. officials are actively considering the possibility of military strikes at some point in the near future.